Welcome. Thank you for being here today. I wanted to talk a little bit about eye patching. Yesterday, I also talked towards the end about a couple of books that I really think were profound and amazing books. One book that I'd like to add to that just real quick was As a Man Thinketh. I think that's a really great, powerful book. I would recommend it. I think it's awesome. We'll get into the daily meditation first and then into the eye patching. Okay, so yesterday, this was a card. I don't know how well you can see or read that, but it is, I am free and liberated. Again, I feel that really went with kind of just what we were talking about yesterday with the power versus force and things like that. It's awesome how some of this stuff works out. I don't know. Literally, this is what I do. I shuffle the cards just like this. No real order or method. And then eventually one of the cards won't shuffle right. I'll do something like this, and all but one of the cards will go in, except for one will like stand out like that, kind of, and then okay, so this must be today's card, or it will almost like fall into my lap because I'm just sitting down here in my office chair. You can kind of see it behind me. So I'm just sitting here and shuffling the cards. What card we get, I don't know. I don't pick them. It's totally random. That's why I'm always amazed at how well they seem to work with what we're talking about. So yeah, again, I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. I know I am. See, here it is. I was just putting the cards in as I was shuffling, and this card like somehow got sideways and it just didn't want to go in. So again, to me, that's kind of how I find the cards. I just kind of shuffle till one of them doesn't shuffle anymore, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay, and this is a great card too. It's harmony. Nice yin yang, however you want to say that. Woo, sorry, I keep moving over. So yeah, that's harmony. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shri Namaha. Om Shri Namaha. Alright, before we get into chanting that, we'll get to the booklet. Also, today, let's see, what number is that? 27. Okay. Om Shrim Namaha. Harmony. Grow into life. Let divine joy, abundance, and beauty into life. This is the feminine seed sound for the energy of abundance in all forms. Shrim aligns our energy, spirit, and aura with abundance. It brings into harmony our inner and outer world, attracting what is already on its way to us. What is owed to us are divine rights and privileges. There are no limits to what the universe has for us. And once the energy is aligned and in harmony with the universe, life flows. It reflects the energy of the moon, the feminine nature, receptivity, grace, surrender, creativity, blessings, and peace. It attracts the masculine energy of positive wealth, success, and generosity. Harmony is a beautiful balance between mind, body, spirit, and is measured in the tender, peaceful moments that naturally flow to us in complete abundance. That's awesome. I think it's a little early to say whether this pertains, but I guess we all want harmony. It's interesting, too, that it talks about it's more in the feminine and then it attracts the masculine. That's kind of cool. All right, well, definitely enjoy that. Just looking through the front of the book, it's got a little thing that says, what is a mantra? A couple other things. Maybe we'll read that. Yeah, why not? Let's get into it now. Okay, so what is a mantra? Why do we do these? What's mantra, I guess? We'll just go with that for now and move forward. Mantras come from two Sanskrit words, mind, M-A-N, man, mind, and tra, T-R-A, vehicle or instrument. Therefore, a mantra is a tool to transport the mind from a state of activity to a state of stillness and silence. Okay, that's kind of what we were talking about with that one meditation where it's still the body, still the mind, still the spirit. Mantras are sounds, syllables, or reverberations that may hold a vast interpretation of meaning. Translation always falls short of the true meaning. The value in chanting a mantra lies in the verbal quality and individual effect, not the meanings that have been placed on them. These Sanskrit words are a cellular language, sound language. Chanting these mantras is all about feeling the sound and being open to how they affect us individually. In the book of Acts 10:46, it states, "For all they hear them speak with tongues magnifying God." Sanskrit is a language, and mantras are a hymn or prayer of worship to our God, our higher universal energy or true spiritual self. Mantra is soul food and can be uttered aloud or silently. The point is to disconnect from the activity around us. It is natural for the mind to drift while chanting mantras, yet with grace and kindness bring it back to the mantra and the meditation place. So here, this is interesting. It says a prayer of worship to our God. Well, I think that's a little presumptuous because, you might have a different God than me. And that's something, too, I was talking about some other, religious people in general, different friends, even spiritual people, and I was talking about, just in one of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt have no gods before me. And maybe I'm getting that wrong. Maybe it's not the 10th Commandment. Maybe it's in the first part of the Bible. I don't remember. But anyway, it just says thou shalt have no gods before me, or no other gods. And so it's like, okay, so does that mean there are other gods? I don't know. It's really interesting. Again, I recommend take it with a grain of salt. If you have your connection with your higher power and, your God, if you will, then that's great. I know quite a few people that are now getting back into the revitalization of the Norse gods. Hope I'm saying that right. Odin, Thor, Loki, and even, I think I've mentioned this before, but in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, all that, they talk about having a higher power, and that's one of the things is that you need to have a higher power, something to kind of surrender your life to, if you will. And again, that's kind of how I understand it. Maybe if you understand a little different, you can comment in the chats. Or I was curious too, but it says Sanskrit, so all right. Well, learn something new every day, right? Well, and that's why we do. That's why I do this channel. It's because I want to learn new things every day, and I hope you do too. Back to the card, harmony. We'll just chant it for a few. And it's interesting, it's Sanskrit. And then even again, while I was reading that, it from what I gathered, it was saying, I don't know, anyway, kind of lost my train of thought. So yeah. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shrim Namaha. Om Shri 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 Namaha. And then Om, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with just Om. That's chanting Om and Ah. Now, again, I recommend you doing your own research because this is just from what I've heard and what I've read and studied. I try to, double check it through different people, results, different studies, anyway. Om and Ah. Now, from what I've heard, Om is to help build and bring in and manifest, and Ah is to help break through barriers, or, if you feel like you hit a glass ceiling, you might do a Ah chant on whatever that was that you feel like you've hit the glass ceiling with. Maybe it's working out or something. I don't know. Anyway, but that's how I understand it. So it's interesting. Om Shrim Namaha. Now, Namaha we ran into before with some of these other chants we've done. While I was chanting that, I could felt like the energy was in my back. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't know. That's just, again, that's how I felt when I was chanting it. Maybe you felt a little different. Maybe you can feel your energy around it. Maybe you couldn't, and that's, something to start working towards. And I know definitely for myself that wasn't something that I, was always intuitive to. I definitely have started to be more intuitive or try to listen to my body more, by just how am I feeling, what's going on. A little sidetracking, because there was a time I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about being in pain in a sense, I guess, like man, my arm hurts really bad, or actually this is an example. This is real. My knee hurt. I was like, man, my knee hurts today. I wonder why my knee hurts so bad. And, well, I started to talk about me and a friend's conversation, and then I'm jumping, so I apologize. Me and a friend were talking about it, and we were talking about, like if you have anything going on in your body, talk to your body. Why are you hurting today? Hey, what's going on with this? That kind of thing. And if you quiet yourself and you truly listen, it will talk back and get an answer. This is what happened to me. So, conversation, me and my friend were talking about that. I don't know if it was like a week, a month, it was a while later, and my knee was hurting, and I, man, that kind of hurts. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try that. I'm going to talk to my body. So I just, almost like a meditation, but not quite, more of just, sitting here relaxing. And I was thinking about the knee, and I was feeling the pain. I was really trying to feel it, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want it to amplify. I wasn't trying to, like, be, masochistic or sadistic or whatever. I wasn't enjoying the pain, but I was just being with it. I was sitting with it. And then quietly I asked my knee, what's wrong? Why do you hurt? What's going on here? Because pain is kind of like an alarm in the body. It's just to let you know that something's going on or that something's not right. And so again, I sat with it and I kind of asked, and then I got a clear vision or memory of the other day before when I was roughhousing with my kids and kind of chasing them around, and I banged my knee on the coffee table pretty hard. Like, it was significant, and it was just, it's a little bruise. But bending your knee, you probably don't bend your knee like that. It's more like walking. But anyway, whatever. I guess, like, activate the bruise or, rub on it, kind of, when you touch a bruise, ow! That's what was happening, because it was a joint. And so, it was a little bruised or a little hurt, I guess. And then the day after that, it went away. I almost forgot about it, other than the experience of quieting and listening to my body. That was huge. And I think that's part of harmony. Another thing that it talks about, and this is something I didn't know, is masculine and feminine. It talks about harmony. That card was feminine, and it brings in the masculine. Well, I didn't know quite a few guys that would go, well, I have no feminine. I'm a guy. I'm all masculine. Not quite the case. From what I understand, we all have masculine energy and we all have feminine energy, and we need both of those. Masculine energy helps build, create, that kind of stuff. The feminine energy, love, nurture. So yeah, we all have masculine, feminine energy. Okay, a little bit of a tangent. I realize we've got about 10 minutes left, and then I'll get into eye patching. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, I've watched a couple of his talks and lectures, and even in his book 12 Rules, they talk about like Sleeping Beauty and the princess being awakened by a kiss. And then I know a bunch of feminists and women that were like, "Oh, we don't need a man to save us," and that wasn't the underlining. I don't want to say theme, but that's not what it was saying. What it was saying is that in order for her to wake up and take back her life, she had to get back in touch with her masculine side. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a prince needed to come save her. That just meant, she could save herself as long as she's in harmony. Anyway, yesterday I said I was going to talk about eye patching too, and I got on another tangent. So anyway, back to the eye patching. So you want to use a special eye patch, and I've talked about this before, but the reason being is because then your eye can be open. There's enough, a little spacer there that when it's over your eye, your eye's wide open. Not closing my eye, just putting it up there. I got some notes here. This is still new to me. Probably going to try and do an eye patching challenge for myself, and then I will report back my findings. But it says the eye patching was developed, its eye patching is a whole therapy, and it was developed by Dr. Michael Kaplan. If I'm saying that right, Kaplan, Kaplan. He's also the author of the book Seeing Beyond 2020. During his research, he found that not only the eye patching improved eyesight, but he added research and results about the left and right brain. And we talked about that. We talked about when you cover your right eye, left brain dominant. And when you cover your left eye, your right brain dominant. And again, doing this, I'm still making a cup with my hand. I don't think that works very well because I talked about this before where somewhere your subconscious knows that your hand's doing it, where when you have the eye patch, and you would think the subconscious would be able to feel that, there's something blocking it. Maybe it does, and it still doesn't stop it from screaming out, going, hey, hey, hey. But your left brain and your right brain communicate. They talk back and forth. And when I'm eye patching my right side, my left brain's dominant because you're crosswired. Your right goes to the left goes to the right. And so basically the side that's patched, left or right, when the right side of the brain, when the left eye's patched, the right side of the brain is not getting as much information. So it kind of starts freaking out a little bit, and it starts communicating more to the left side, asking what's going on here. And then vice versa. You patch the other side, and the right side of the brain will talk more to the left, or the left will talk more to the right, depending on which ones. I hope that made sense. Okay, yeah, the left side and the right side. Oh yeah, so right here, the visual stimulus of one brain hemisphere is significantly curtailed when the eye patching. That side's patch is about 85 to 90% of all visual sensory input comes from the opposite eye. And that's what I was talking about. Other side of the brain, it wants to talk more. It gets a little bit more nervous, maybe, if you will. Maybe not. Nah, I don't want to say nervous. More inquisitive, and it wants more information. Probably doesn't need to be said, but do not eye patch while operating equipment, driving, using knives. Yeah, you don't want to do it well. You're making dinner, probably. You're chopping up carrots. You don't want to put an eye patch on. Maybe after dinner. Like I said, I recommend roughly, and this is another thing, check my notes. There's no set time for eye patching. Everyone's different. Everybody's different. You can do it however you want. I try to do it 5 minutes each eye, and then that's 10 minutes total. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night is really not that long. That's fairly simple. While you're brushing your teeth, you could do that. I don't imagine you'd miss and hit your open eye while you're brushing your teeth. Having one eye closed, you are losing your depth perception, from what I understand, and even from what I've somewhat experienced a little bit myself. So that's why they talk about you don't want to drive, you don't want to be chopping anything or any of that stuff, because your depth perception's off, and you might think that you have this much space between the knife and your finger, and really you have no space. That's an example. Another thing it talked about is you have one eye that's more dominant, which, again, from what I understand, that's just tying to the dominant side of your brain. So when you're eye patching, one side is going to feel more comfortable than the other. That side that feels more comfortable, you can actually even use it as a stress reliever. But I want to make sure this information is as accurate as possible, and from what I understand. I would also recommend you go do your own, look into it, talk to other people. Sorry, what I was saying is you'll have one eye that's more dominant. It relieves stress. It feels more comfortable. It can help calm you, put you in a state of relaxation. Another thing, too, we were talking about masculine and feminine. Again, with the harmony, I don't plan this stuff. It just works out well. Right here it says, people that are out of balance between their masculine and feminine energy can benefit from eye patching. So, like I said, I referred to the metaphor, I guess, of Sleeping Beauty and the prince kissing her. Well, maybe her masculine feminine energies are off balance, and she's stepping into the masculine energy, and that's what that means. Again, even I think with the card, we talked about the feminine energy is nurturing and loving, and the masculine energy is creating and building. And so, we need that. We need both sides of that. We don't want to be just one or the other. We want to be a whole and complete being. Now, I'm going to throw this up here just real quick. It says I'm going to be right back, but I'm right here. I just want to show you this flower of life. Boom, right there. Okay. Well, maybe another second. All right. And I'll talk about it a little bit. Not only is that the flower of life, but it also encompasses healing, or the medicine wheel that I was talking about too. Physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. You want to be strong on all those sides. Well, part of that is having your masculine and feminine energies aligned, and knowing when is best to step into those and use those. Now, it looks like we're running out of time. With eye patching, it's an awesome technique that you can do by yourself at home. I'll see if I can put a description on the link below on YouTube. You can click on to order an eye patch kit from the Rapid Eye Institute. That's where I got mine. It was a week-long. I said weekend one time. I don't know why I thought weekend, and it's probably because it seems like a weekend. It's so much fun, and it goes by so fast that it's Like, dang, it's over already? At least that's how I feel. But yeah, it's Souls with Stamina is their leadership program, and that's what I went to, and that's where I first heard and learned about eye patching. It's through the Rapid Eye Institute. Rapid Eye is another great modality. We'll get more into that. Like I said, I'll try and put a link down below. You can probably even just Google Rapid Eye Institute. It's up in Salem, Oregon. Awesome people. They're wonderful to work with. Amazing. That's about all the time I have for today. I want to thank you for joining me. We'll probably talk more about eye patching tomorrow too. Have a wonderful day. I got to get going. Thank you.